Hello and welcome to the second block podcast from IPF Digital. My name is Povilas Girčys. I'm General Manager for IPF Digital company. And here is my colleague Jari Koivula, our IT Director.
Thank you for introduction, Povilas.
Yes, and this is already the second podcast we decided to record. Following the previous one that we discussed about the marketing in IPF Digital, marketing in growing markets, marketing in the financial services, how to find the customer, how to keep the customer, etc. And this time we decided to move into the technology area and to look behind the curtains how it all looks like, transforming the IT infrastructure, transforming IT organization from the startup to the fast growing and delivering return company. When I'm saying company, so I'm talking about IPF Digital, the company that we're operating in 7 markets, and we are part of the IPF group, the company that at the moment having close to 1.7 million customers and is at the moment in 9 markets. We are part of the companies industry that is providing financial services. So, Jari, first question that I have for you is exactly zooming out from all the years we are running the company, is how does the IT evolve throughout the years from the startup setup, having all just handful of the IT colleagues into the organization where now our IT department is one of the biggest actually in the business. So tell us a bit of the journey that you were leading.
Oh, happy to. So yes, history, if we go 10, 12 years backwards in time, we were, I think, 7 to 9 people, and then there was a decision made to turn the startup into digital company with a single platform serving multiple markets. And a lot of journey done, and now I think we have 140 people total. So it's quite a change. We had to build all the functions. And one of the biggest journeys actually was how you bring IT and business together. Because traditionally IT been as a separate department, a secret vacuum unit, no one knows what's going on there. And we found that this kind of transformation was very essential when you build modern IT functions inside business. So if I think a little bit my own history, I started in purchasing department, and there were 2 IT people working there, and business was telling us what to do. We build it, the business tested, and then we continued live. So there wasn't IT department, and then IT department was invented, and I have a feeling that we're going back to this IT is part of business function, and business functions need to be responsible and owning many of IT functions.
Thanks, Jari. And actually, you are capturing an interesting theme, which probably is applicable across the businesses in whatever industry you're operating. So, like same, if we have sales and marketing, so yeah, sometimes marketing says, hey, sales is not selling well, or sales says marketing is not doing well stuff, we don't have right campaigns, etc. So in the IT and this business operations, exactly how you combine that, not to have the bit of a ping pong, who's what, etc. Someone is too slow, someone is changing the requirements of the developments. I'm sure it's it's a common disputes across the organizations. How to eliminate that? How we're eliminating that?
Oh, fully agree. It's a big challenge. It's still a big challenge. So can't say that we are perfect in that way, but we're making steps forward. So we started, of course, like a classically multiple markets. Each market had their one way or other own IT, and then we decided to pull it together. So we started transforming ourselves from separated local IT units driven by local needs into more hub and spoke, what means not centralizing, but it means that each market has potentially needed IT functions, but they are managed centrally by hub. Journey was long, so I think it took, of course, it was disrupted by COVID, but it takes easily 2-3 years before you can reach, even we are not really huge organization. And biggest change is the mindset, the culture, how people start taking responsibility of that when you're doing marketing, actually IT people are part of your marketing. It's digital marketing, you need functionalities there, and well, we have made a big step, so we are progressing on that side. But there are still room for improvements. For example, to try to describe the mindset, I would say that think like you take IT ops, so the help desk and these, who are the best in business to manage that? It's customer care, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. So why we separate them still instead of customer care? They have a metrics, they have a knowledge. So why IT should be different, for example? So that kind of steps, I think we have next ones to think about it.
Yes, Jari, let's stop here for a minute, because moving from local to global, it's a massive change.
That's correct.
That has lots of worries, uncertainties. We need to maintain business continuity. We need to make sure that all what the local teams want to do, it's delivered. But at the same time, we want that everyone is moving at the same pace in the same direction, right? So what was the biggest challenges and how we overcome this?
Well, first question is, of course, why you change something. So from that point of view, we saw that main challenge was that it was becoming like every country having their own IT, own agendas, own priorities, and it wasn't serving the big picture. It was serving one market's needs. And in the transition, I think one of the biggest differences was definitely that we built a model that supports. So incentives, bonuses, and mindset is like it's us. It's not that one country's success defines how whole digital group will be doing in business-wise.
Okay. How long it took the transformation?
Well, we started, it was interrupted by COVID, so that's of course, I count off, so 3-4 years, and we're still on the way. So, biggest challenge is that, what is the mission? Is the mission that IT is embedded into every function of business, and that's what I think is the right way to do. But it's incremental journey. You don't have a big bang because it's massive cultural change. Also on business side, because it means business needs to take ownership of developers, maybe IT operations, monitoring things, and so it's a lot of new stuff for business people as well, and then vice versa. Also technology side, so IT people, they need to adapt. So HR's involvement was like one of the most critical element, I would say there, because we're dealing with people, you're creating a new culture, new mindset. So I think it's a long journey, and I don't think you're never ready actually.
Well, I think it's called continuous improvement.
Yes, well put.
Talking about this agile way of working,
Yep.
How difficult it is to run the business, because exactly the business. So it's not only the IT. So it's you need to plan ahead, right? But at the same time, you need to allow the things to come to your table in a way, right? As a business. So how difficult to manage the stakeholders here?
Well, agile is a big word, as we know, so we translate it so many ways. But generally, you can say that, what it is not, it's not that you don't have a schedules or budget and you deliver whatsoever. So that's not what agile is. reaching agile mindset. So if we take a look of our journey so far, because it's still a journey, so some functions adapt very quickly. So I was almost surprised very positively that some functions, they started using dailies, they have retros, and they started using Kanbans, or it doesn't matter which method they use, but they kind of embedded into their functions and ways of working already these, and they select a bit different approaches. It doesn't mean that one approach is right for each, but and then some functions definitely not. They are still on the journey, so it varies, but
Okay, very good. So do we measure or can we measure the improvements then moving from one way of working to another one?
well, of course, there are many variables, so it depends. For example, if you think about how you prioritize, how a lot of time, and do you get the most important items sorted out across 6-7 markets? I think we are successfully there, because we looking for one target, not one specific country target, and markets have a different maturities also. So one market might be focusing on this element of like profitability, another market might be working on growth.
Yes.
And otherwise, I don't believe without this model we would be able to really prioritize and giving these missions so clearly to markets to achieve.
Thank you. Having 140 more, plus IT colleagues, so what would you recommend to the young IT specialist or future IT specialist? Which path to take? Which is now areas the most sought after? Where is the biggest demand from IT professionals? Which path to take at this point of time and looking forward? So where is the biggest demand from the IT professionals?
Well, I think foundations hasn't changed, so we're still moving into cloud. So cloud competencies, of course. Your security is super hot, so that's definitely where the demand is, and also compensations are growing. And then, of course, AI. I expect we see AI where everything is AI, even it's not AI, but we can see in IT like development side, I think is first. I think at the moment AI is more used as an assistant, but it's here and it will stay. So every company needs to adapt. What is each company's strategy for AI varies, needs and industries and these, of course. But let's say for young professionals, I think 2 foundations in my mind when I talk with people. It's critical thinking, that's essential, and problem-solving skills. And then all tools, they will just add on this. So as long as you have those, it doesn't mean that for sure we will see like AI will be like a peak and demand will be overwhelming there. But every new technology what we had the same impact and the same consequence.
How you see this? How the IT community is perceiving the AI? So you say that they are looking at that as more of a helping tool, right? And going forward, is that threat, opportunity? How it's perceived?
Well, I can't say how IT community is seeing. I was telling how I'm perceiving. Yes. So it's more assistant at the moment, and for sure that will change over the time. Of course, it is, as I said, it's hottest topic. So, for example, when you ask people what is important, where they see biggest demand of development, it's AI. And companies has 2 ways to do it. Either you develop existing people, engage them, or some companies already like more startup types, normally, they just replace people. So you bring AI skills faster. But of course, you lose maybe even your culture, but also then all the silent knowledge and information. So there are 2 ways to do, and I think most companies will, of course, select developing people. So people learns to use, and it's a lot of experiments what works for each industry and area.
Okay, very good. You mentioned things like developing people, etc. So definitely, at least maybe I'm wrong, but there is always perception that IT professionals are very rational, very pragmatic people. So they are very, rational, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how to retain them, how to motivate, how to engage with them. So, how you get this, common view towards where we need to go, how you find the common language.
Well, if we think about recruitment side, so most common question nowadays what I've been facing is for example, which technology is it up to date? So this is fundamental element for especially younger ones, because typically in IT or any other industry, no one wants to maintain some old stuff. So that's one question.
So basically, are we working on the most modern technologies, basically?
Well, modern enough, I
Modern
would
enough.
say.
Mhm.
Yeah, most modern is a bit passionate
Okay.
word. So at least you have when we talk about AI, so you can implement and use AI connected with the existing, let's say, technology stack. So that's one area. Then of course it is you have a motivating task. So this is driver. Do you develop your people? So I think this wave comes now much more stronger than ever. So I think companies needs to invest also into this and get more clear career paths and updates for people's skills. Not only because it's the right thing towards the people, but it's right way to improve your productivity and stay up to date in business. And then, of course, always there's a compensation that needs to be reasonably at market level.
We as IPF Digital, we're operating in 7 markets, and our IT community is spread quite a bit of the countries as well.
Yeah.
How difficult it is to manage the teams across the markets, across the countries?
As long as they are in a same time zone, I think we have learned to handle these things quite well. Different time zones, that's the evil or biggest challenge always been, and it's not IT specific problem.
Yeah.
It is any business where you have a very short window. And normally, I would say in our case, it means that we have to expand services more and more to different time zones and learn to follow the sun where it makes sense.
Yep. So again, AI, it's hot, right? It's a hot topic everywhere in all the areas. But where we should be mindful as well, because with opportunities comes the risks that we sometimes not even think about.
Yes, AI, it's a friend and foe, so it has two sides, as most of the things anyway. But AI, I think it is, as we discussed, it's here, it stays. It's not anymore like a future promise. So, and it brings a lot of unknown in the form of opportunities. So we can see it's a good assistant when used correctly. In IT, of course, it has a massive impact how we develop software, how we test, how IT ops operates. But same happens in business side, because as we discussed, IT is just part of business. So business is also using it, content creations and other elements of business to utilize normally agents, so helping AI agents and these helping us. But it brings also threats, like cybersecurity. So AI can help defending, detecting and finding out what is the problem and where the threats are, but it can be used as a weapon. So it's also both sides. So we see deep fakes, we see all kind of scams coming, and AI enables easier for, let's say, not so advanced hackers to use techniques we never seen before. And most of this goes social social side of this. So it's more human driven than hard technology. So it's not anymore typical cracker is not trying to crash your firewall. They go into brains of the humans, and then because we are much more easier to actually lure, and it's hard to fix people's minds. That's why this threat side, so security is especially, and what you have to do on this side is, of course, build awareness, do, let's say, like a field test with your people, seeing that how they respond, and then have a feedback and education. So I think that part becomes more and more important in using AI and what threats. And also one thing is that what has been on in the discussions, but it's not really like companies yet there. So do we know how AI works? Based on what it does things? Is it your product pricing? Because it comes a lot of unknowns. So if you don't understand how it's making decisions, how do you know that decisions are ethical or fair and such things? So this will introduce, I think, I would expect we see a lot of consultants and the new roles trying to understand how AI really works and aligns with the company and society as well.
Well, definitely, it will be very interesting and long-term journey. That's for sure.
Yes, yeah. Now it's maybe reaching the peak of hype, and then it starts settling down. It doesn't mean that the speed of it will slow down, but
in a way, when the honeymoon of the
like any new technology.
Yes.
I remember mobile phones came or internet. I was wondering what to do with this crappy connection with modem, and here we are. I'm connected with 3-4 devices with the world.
Thank you, Jari. That was very useful, and I'm sure very interesting for our all viewers and listeners. So what we discussed today? Well, first of all, it's very important that IT is fully embedded in the organization. Not just a part of the business, but fully integrated, fully understands the problems and opportunities in the business, and works hand in hand with the organization to grow and foster the business. Then AI is here. We know that. It's not only coming, it's already here, but it's very important that every businesses are prepared for that change. It's because it's opportunity, and we need to be ready for this. Then cloud and cybersecurity, and the same AI is probably the most hottest areas now as a part of the labor market. We know that, and we expect that will continue in foreseeable future. So everyone who is making the career choices, please keep that in mind. Okay? So, thank you. My name is Povilas Girčys, General Manager for IPF Digital.
And I'm Jari Koivula, IT Director of IPF Digital, and thanks for having me.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. Goodbye.